It's a cloudy day on Delmarva. We're flying high above today's job. We're talking about pretreatment septic systems. Pretreatment septic systems have basically become a four-letter word among a lot of Delaware residents, and it's because they cost so much money and they require mandatory service contracts. But for today's homeowner, they may not be all that bad. See, if you look at this property here, you can see that it's fairly small and it has a lot of surrounding neighbors. Well, all septic systems need to be 100 foot from all wells, and all wells need to be 100 foot from all septic systems. Or do they? We're going to talk about how pretreatment septic systems allow us to reduce those isolation distances in some cases. So let's see how pretreatment septic systems made this homeowner happy. Stay tuned. First, let's just show you quickly what a pretreatment septic unit is. And here it just looks like a septic tank, and really that's what it is. It's kind of what's inside is really what makes the difference. If you look in the bottom left, you see that green box. That's one of the big parts. That's a air pump, and that is going to blow air inside of the septic tank. And inside of the septic tank we have a blue honeycomb type of plastic. And that's on the outlet side of the septic tank. And you see the white pipe there in the center. The air is all going to circulate through that area to create a very oxygen-rich environment for the sewage. And what that's going to do is going to allow us to have sewage that's coming out that is very environmentally friendly. Now, for that reason, DENREC has allowed us to reduce septic and well isolation distances from 100 foot to 50 foot as long as we maximize them as possible. So on properties like this, what we do is we take all the surrounding wells and all the surrounding septics and we plot them out. And as you can see here, on the left side we have a single wide home on the left, and directly behind that we have another single wide sitting perpendicular. And then we have right beside it, directly behind our property, we have a double wide home. Each one of those homes has its own individual well and its own individual septic. And then you can see on the right side here, although the properties are a little bigger, they all each have their own septic and their own well. We plot those all on a plot page and we see what room's left over. Luckily for our homeowner, the soil scientist was able to find just enough property that had sands good enough for a gravity septic system. And that's a big deal because that saves a lot of money on the drain field side of things. These drain fields can run quite a bit of money if you're expect to have a sand mound or some sort of engineered system. The pretreatment units themselves run anywhere from $5,500 right on up to even $10,000 depending on what kind of pretreatment the engineer has specified. But if you're fortunate enough to have soils good enough for gravity, that's going to keep your costs down quite a bit. One thing to keep in mind is you have to maximize the distance you can get. Although you're allowed to be down to 50 foot, that comes with the stipulation that as long as you have maximized the distance. Although the sewage is treated, it is still sewage. So we need to make sure that those distances are maximized. And we're not allowed to reduce them because of, a homeowner would like to put a shed here and, that pushes the septic a little closer to the neighbor's well. No, we can't do that. The only reason that septic is allowed to go closer to a neighbor's well is because that's the only way it will fit according to the property lines and where the neighbor's well is. That's it. So as we're bringing this thing into a close, you can see we're finishing the last trench. This homeowner has used pretreatment septic systems in order to get a home on a property that he wouldn't normally have been able to. So it's been a good thing for him, and a little more expensive, but it's been a good thing.